Hey, what's going on, GH fam? Just wanted to give a quick hello and how are you? And if you don't already know who I am, I'm Kristen. I'm Melissa's wife, who also coaches the jiu-jitsu classes on Tuesday, Thursday night over on the MMA side. Just wanted to give a quick message out, kind of directed a little bit towards our grappling athletes. Really tough during these times to get our workouts in. I mean, it is a sport that really requires a lot of close contact and physicality, body to body kind of work. So when we're kind of limited on those resources and a little bit more into our homes, I just wanted to give some options for things moving forward as we start to put together some instructional videos for you and drills, movement drills, mobility, flows, all kinds of good stuff Alyssa and I are cooking up. But first and foremost, wanted to get you to have the right kind of equipment, right? So we can do a whole lot of solo stuff, just you, floor drills, no problem. If you happen to live in a home with someone who is a willing participant in jiu-jitsu, or at least willing to be there to be your grappling dummy, awesome. If you don't have those as an option, and if you don't have already a grappling dummy or aren't able to go and get one, or a heavy bag even, or even a big medicine ball, all three of those kinds of things would work great for some of the drilling that we may be doing in the future. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a DIY with things that you could potentially find around your house or near your home that wouldn't maybe require you to go out to a store to get it. So anyways, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our project. Alright, awesome. So we have now introduced you to our new friend and training partner who's willing and able to be put through the ringer for all of our gains that we need to get while we are stuck at home. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of some supplies that you might need or that you could use, and some suggestions of alternatives that you might have around the house. Feel free to get creative with this. I legit had looked up some stuff online, most of them trying to mimic the real like vinyl grappling dummies required PVC and rope or cord, and those are just not things that I expect everyone to have in their homes. If you do, awesome. Like, feel free to check those out online. If you don't, these are just some things that I came up with. So 2 separate inner cores to switch out for the PVC core. And then it's all about the stuffing, basically. So what you will need is, I chose specifically a hoodie because I felt like this gave you the option to have a head to work with. And it's able to close itself, where like a typical sweatshirt or t-shirt, you'll have to figure out a way to close that hole off. But if you need to, by all means. I chose sweatpants. These could also be wind pants or all kinds of things, but I picked them because of the drawstring waistband, so that I could tighten it all together, and it would help to keep the top and the bottom from coming loose as easily, and I don't have to tape it all together, which was good because I didn't want to ruin completely the hoodie and the sweatpants. But if you don't care about them and you don't care about the things that you're wearing, then by all means, a lot of people suggest like you could wrap this whole thing up in duct tape or whatever. So that's totally up to you. Some other things that I used on the inside I used a rolled up yoga mat. It was a thin one, I think even thinner than this one right here. So this is a little bit thicker. The one I used was basically the thinnest available. It used to be my old yoga mat. I don't use that one anymore. That hurt my knees in the yoga class, so I got a nice thick one. It's even thicker than this. So I didn't want to use my current yoga mat because I'm still using that. So I'm using my old one. If you have any other kind of mat like that, that would be great. The thicker I don't think is going to be an issue. If anything, that actually helps with keeping it all kind of structured. And then you're adding the padding around it. So that's really up to you. If you don't have yoga mats, I thought another thing that people might have, especially with how prevalent Amazon is these days, is that you might have cardboard. Okay, so I just took, we had a larger cardboard box that was not from Amazon. We were actually cleaning the garage earlier to get a little space set up so that we can train in our garage. So I was getting rid of this anyways, and I was thinking that that would also be a perfect interior kind of structure. And you'll see how I put all this together in the next few little clips. So I did tape this one. If you had a couple different boxes, I basically just kept rolling until it was all done. You can get whatever thickness that you need. If you have more boxes, awesome. If you have small boxes, you can put them together. Yeah, just let your creativity flow on that. Other things, I used some spare bedding for our spare bedroom that we don't really use anymore. We don't have a secondary bed at the moment, so these are some older sheets that we just hang on to for you never know when, or for the air mattress, or things like that. So I did use 2 large sheets and their fitted sheets, and maybe a couple of pillowcases. I don't know, I just started stuffing at one point. So those are good options. I could have used comforters as well, but that would have been maybe a little bit more to like fill in the pants. And I also use, because I feel like a lot of people do this, we like clear out our closets and then we have a whole bag maybe of stuff that we would like to donate, or maybe we just needed to get it out of the closet, or we're not sure what we want to do with it. So we had a bag of donation clothes set up. I did use some clothes to fill in the gaps where the sheets didn't do enough, and to have just a little bit more stuffing in some areas. I felt like that worked out really well. And then pillows, of course. This is just a spare pillow. We only had a few, so just a pillow. I used 2 standard size pillows, and that took up the front and the back of the chest, and kind of filled out the shoulders. Okay, so that was for this main person. If you're using a bigger hoodie and bigger pants, those are going to require maybe some more stuffing, obviously. So maybe you need 3 pillows, maybe you just need a bigger core to take up more space, and you could even use cardboard in the legs and the arms. With some stuffing around that, if that's more what you have available. So the bigger the core is, and what I'm calling the core is our yoga mat or the cardboard box rolled up, the bigger that is, the more space obviously that will get taken up, so you'll need less stuffing. But you do need some good stuffing in there so that when you're moving around on it, it's not uncomfortable and it gives you a little bit more of a body feel. Some other things would also be tape. I'm not currently taping up our friend here right now. Like I said, I want to reuse these sweatpants, and I still love my old Sam Houston sweatshirt. So, but if you're going to be dragging it around and doing more, you can tape up the legs, you can tape up the hands, you could even put a little bit of security tape around the waist to keep the top and bottom from coming apart. All just kind of like reinforcement things, but not necessary if you don't have it, and if you don't want to use all of your duct tape on, or packaging tape on your grappling dummy. So I will take all of this apart, and then I will show you how to put all of it back together again. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it. Like I said, it's just a whole lot of stuffing, a really good interior core, whether it be the yoga mat or the cardboard. And I don't know if you caught it when I was showing you in the time lapse or not, but the inner core, I let some of that come into the hoodie area. Okay, I didn't need it to come all the way to the top. I was gonna put just more padding on top of it anyways, but basically up to neck level. And that's gonna give you a more realistic, when you're ready to put a gi on this bad boy and start training on it. Some other things to think about would just be like, if you're getting this messed up, I guess if you don't care about it, it's not a big deal. If you're concerned about the cleanliness of these items, everything in there is obviously washable. It didn't take me a whole long time to put it all together or take it all apart, so that's just going to be like a little extra work. But I think in the long run, having something rather than having nothing to train with is going to benefit you the most. So, like I said, inner core up to the neck, fill it all in with pillows, with sheets or clothes or other materials. If you do use the cardboard box, try not to have it rolled up so wide that it doesn't fit into like the neck hole area. And if it just sits into the shoulders, then you won't get that same feel on the top. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So we've got a grappling dummy. Like I said, if you've got some names for this grappling dummy, that would be great. If you do decide to do this project, send us some videos or tag us in your videos, either on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever you choose. I'd love to see what y'all come up with. They're pretty hefty, okay? I mean, it weighs a good amount, so I feel like it's gonna be a good deal. You can work your knee rides, you can work your arm bars, and start training.